Hey, we're back with the slightly boozy Friday stream of Magic. I still don't know if I'm getting into Ikoria or Strixhaven this evening, but we're going to do a little warm-up game in this week's Artisan. In this deck I was just kind of mucking around with. It's nothing too fancy. We won one game, we lost the other. We'll see how it goes. It seems like white is better positioned than this, but we would win against white if it gets stalled out. Generally is how I'm thinking our matchup is going to go, because both decks I faced so far were white decks. Just gaining life, no payoff, no Johnny's Pride mate, just it's nice gaining life. This video is not endorsed by Sailor Jerry, but it is made possible by. Not officially, of course. We decided to celebrate this beautiful Friday and have a few sips, which we haven't done for some time. And Alex is here next to me, doing stuff on her computer. And we got the loining, we got the life gain. Shh. What do you need the life for? You know. I at least mind combos with that 2-drop saying that whenever you gain life, the opponent loses life. And it's an excuse for a win condition. if I'm being honest. But the pest summoning into this guy here, I mean, that's pretty legitimate on 3, although I would expect them to have appropriate removal. The only thing being, it kind of hurts to remove this. If I had the opportunity to keep up with the Infused with Vitality. Sam, what's up? Hopefully you guys are having a lovely Friday as well. It is a beautiful day a few streets over. Although actually it's gotten less sunny in the last 15 minutes perhaps. You hate to see it. Looks like it's a bit of a mirror match. We're just doing a bit of warm-up here in this week's F&M, which is Artisan, and it's uncommons only. Uncommons and commons. What have you. I figured they were going to have appropriate removal for that. Isn't there a trigger? When you sacrifice it. Darn. We're having a little boozy stream. So... we say, let's get rid of you. Let's slap that down with haste. Want to trade? Want to block? Want to block him? That sounds good. Hey! Some Snap and Starter. You got your hands on a copy of Pokemon Snap. Unfortunately, I bet you that was like $80-$100, but I don't think that'll ever really drop in price for the next few years because of the type of product it is. So it's like, do you want to wait 6 months and someone puts it up online, you try and take advantage of it? I don't think that's really going to happen, you know? So we got a double play here. It's all 1/1s, and we say math is for blockers. What are you going to do about all that? I could have gotten rid of this before to maybe squeak one of them through. Sure. And you're not going to block the 4. How peculiar. Yeah, I watched a little bit of my friend streaming it as well, and it looked like a lot of fun, but I didn't want to spoil it too much myself, because very realistically, I might actually get that game. At retail price. And they're like, you'll pay it, won't you? We're not going to reduce the prices. Like, yeah, I'll pay it. You got me on this one. That's 2 cards I didn't necessarily want to see. It's the good cards in my deck, but they're getting them instead. So let's get rid of their win-con like thing. Give them this here, the Infused with Vitality. It's going to bring something back. Just say, we don't drink and shop anymore. That's. Oh yeah, no, they're good on trading. We got plenty of life. They have less, but they have lots of ways of gaining it as well. So I hate to say that this game might be like a kind of a back and forth. That's not a good warm-up game. I want the memes, and I want it now. And I want it to be 5 minutes, and then I'll get into the draft. Very nice. And we're still mashing that spacebar, keeping up our actions per minute. And where I'm using the desktop mic here, you could definitely feel and hear the spacebar mashing. Thugga, thugga, thugga. I got a good, nice tactile spacebar. Are they gonna use this card right now? Oh! Ew! So if Plumb the Forbidden is lose 1 life and draw a card, and this one here is gain 1, drain me for 1, they got a cool little loop going in there for their uncommon. I am actually not running Plumb the Forbidden. And that little maneuver there kind of makes me wish I was, but I'm actually not running this either. I'm less focused on the lifelink and more some like good quality removal and kind of more aggressive cards. But them making all these 1/1s is not cool. It's a little bit irritating. I wish it could be a bub battle trick, but no, I keep this. They've got 5 cards in hand and I have none. How did that happen? When you drink, you don't notice these subtle things, like your opponent having a mitt full of cards, and you're like, playing everything in your hand. Are you going to do the double block? No. They're like, I got life to burn. That's no problem. So what about all those 5 cards in hand? What are you planning to use? So I would assume blocking with the 2 1/1s is looking pretty attractive. Yep, it's fine. And using this on a 1/1 token is just like, why would you? But I've got no other life gain outlet right now. I don't have another infused with vitality in hand. Cute. So we're not trading after all, is what you're saying. Well, the Plumb the Forbidden is how they got all the cards. It's gonna be a really smooth draft. It's gonna be a short one, maybe. Do I do Ikoria again with the frugal quick draft, or do I use my token to do the Strixhaven one this evening? Sorcery, yep. And it's a 5 mana activation and that. Very good. I think our bus is here. I think it's time to maybe peel out. Oh. Yeah. My ride's here. I'm gonna go. I got drafts to get to. So, besides the singular beer for the Friday streams, I haven't really had felt the need to drink or like have a large time that way. I think because I hadn't, when you're not working, I don't know. There's something about that to me. I got 2 days off and I was like, oh nice. I really earned some drinks this weekend, and I was really excited to get 2 of them. But when I was in between, I didn't have that same drive to like have that large time. I was like, yeah, I could. I mean, I got nowhere to be. I could do it right now, but that's just not the way that I'm wired myself. All right, so our draft. What should we do? I did have a lot of fun with Ikoria Wednesday. We would have to use gems on a set that I'm not really chomping at the bit for. But you know what? We found ourselves in 4 wins. When we started and we went 0-2 and then just climbed up the losers bracket. So the potential is there for us to get some sort of reward for this. Oh! The old tomato. Never thing with mutate in this pack. Interesting. We'll have to keep an eye out and see if we run into other things with mutate. Ultimatums in draft are, they're okay. They could be the Jeskai one if you can run it. I mean, that's a big bomb. This one here, not so much. I'm gonna take it because we often find ourselves in Sultai colors. So we've got the Great Horn as a mutator here. Ominous Seas is a good card. Migration Path is kind of greedy. We might see more of those. We ran 2 IV Elementals in Wednesday's draft, and that actually, because they're trimmed to fit as a creature with X, they really became the workhorse of that deck, and then I mutated on top of them. It's a good time. So I'm not going to pick it right now. I'm going to take this common one. But know that if that wheels back around, I'll probably be picking it later. Oh wow, it wheeled the next pack. So before you finish the sentence, you'll see it again. And the Bushwag is okay. Nothing in there is you could make the turn into Dimir Flash, but I think that folds to gaining value with mutate stuff, if you can get away with it. And there were a few games that our opponent didn't seem to have the appropriate removal that they almost always seem to, and we got away with it. It's I can't believe they're letting me keep mutating on this creature. Yeah. Sure. That's fine-ish removal. The Mystic Subdual it's back again. I see. Anticipate. I do like drawing cards and flicking through them, of course. But a Glimmerbell would be an attractive mutate creature, I think, where you can untap it. This is a little expensive. This one here ended up being some of the bread and potatoes. This thing here, that's not for the mutate decks, but it's ends up being a pretty sweet draft pick for this format. Frost Lynx, lovely. Phase Dolphin is the most wheelable card, and something like that. This here is going to be the pick. On target non-human, we're going to be having non-humans out the wazoo. Gust of Wind, lovely card. We got 1 Glimmerbell already. Unlikely Aid is a whatever card. Gust of Wind ends up being evasion, or what would you call it if it stalls the opponent and draws you a card. There's got to be a word for something that is not evasion, because evasion would be battle tricks and modifying after blockers. This is a sorcery, which we were reminded of one of the last games on Wednesday. Kind of important to remember and read your cards. You know. Another thieving otter, convolute. Convolute or thieving otter? Thieving otter, even though it's a very wheelable card, and I love that I've started talking about wheelable cards maybe 2 or 3 times already in pack 1, and as I'm finishing the sentence, it wheels back almost underneath my cursor. Feels nice, feels validating, yeah. We don't really need a third one. We don't. This card is whatever. This card here, it's going in the sideboard, but somebody could have fucked me up with it one of the other games. No, one of the games we did lose, actually. They rightly remembered that was a thing, and it was sad. Keep safe. That would be evasion and cantrip in a combination. I'm not sure if there's a word that describes both of that, but it seems like on that basis it would be a good card. This thing here probably does a bit more work, but it's a high cost thing that you mutate onto something that already has big stats. So it's like, it is the sensible pick in this case. But I'm going to take Keep Safe. Nice, in the swamp. Dang. There are a lot of pickable cards in this pack. This thing here is good. We are so far outside white. But our mutate picks so far were really weak in that pack. If we make a hard effort to grab them all now, are we even going to have access to the ones that wheel down because some scallywag computer up the way? Although it's wheeling the other way now, that's right. So we're going to take the Polywog because it's on color, as much as I would like to splash into a 4th color, because that's who I am as a person. It doesn't. I kind of don't want to do that. We had a lot of mana fixing last Wednesday draft. Symbiote and the Recluse. Recluse is a 3-drop. This is a 2-drop. We got the 2 Thieving Otters as 3-drops, as well as we're going to have mutate stuff in the 4 and 5 probably slot. I think it's actually... No, that's mutate synergy. We don't even have enough mutate creatures yet to justify taking those enabler cards. Damn. It's another white mutate card, meaning that if we had picked the other one and maybe tried to drop a color in order to jam white in, we would have gotten other things that would have made it worth it. Darn it. Okay, more mutate. Yep. Get in the deck, loser. We're going mutating. Bootnipper, solid thing to mutate onto. More than the Hemophage, even though that's a possible win con if you were to ask somebody. But not me. Bastion of Remembrance ends up being a meaner card, but we're not in the kind of deck for that. Frostlinks actually probably makes more sense, but we'll probably see another one. This thing here is best kind. Human. Don't even like... I don't trust like that. Get out of here. This is kind of useless to us. That sounded neat, whoever that was. Go fast. And you hear Miso in the background singing the song of her people. Don't particularly want the bristling boar. We ran it last draft and realized that we didn't want to modify its stats beyond the 4-3, even though its ability was kind of cool. So I'm going to take the on-color land instead. Nice, and the enabler, that was a great wheel for us. Very exciting. I like that that's an instant. Might not make the final cut, but it's a good looking... What a good looking card! And a lifelink counter. Nice. For somebody else, not for this deck. So, right now, I'm looking at this and thinking, down the road, that there is going to be a situation in this draft that I'll wish I had been running this card and had it in hand or something. I'm sideboarding it right now. It is not even touching the main deck. And if that situation comes around and I remember, we're gonna be disappointed altogether. Pretty sure I've got 4 of those. But in terms of something else that would be really attractive in this pack, it's not really. Fuck it, we're gonna run it. Making me wish I had picked out white. Darn. So we did have the Fertilid as some mana fixing. We did pick up 1 Glowstone Recluse, which is fine. We don't want to get behind on card draw. Pouncing Shore Shark. I've never been so happy to see you. 3 picks in Genesis Ultimatum. Yes, Miso. Did you find your toy?
Miso, are you hunting?
And letting us know so. So we're passing on the ultimatum. We are not splashing red for that. And the Dreamtail Heron is a super playable card. Remember before I was commenting that it was almost feel like I was being punished for not having taken the Cub Warden in Pack 2, and then we started being wheeled the white mutate stuff, and then we passed on the Genesis Ultimatum and was like, no, we can't do red, and now it's showing me red-white mutate stuff right off the hop. It just seems a little funny is all. Reconnaissance mission. Bushwhack, because we need some stuff in the lower. Or do we take the Unlikely 8? No, we need some good mutate targets early game. And we don't have that kind of stuff. Sure, that's okay. This is borderline more playable. Gaining life, drawing cards is sure, that's a human. Ah, get out of here. On color land. You know, I looked past this in another pack, or earlier this pack, and perhaps it wheeled. That's recursion. We might get use out of that. Thieving Otter, 2/2. I have 2 of them already. I'd rather something to protect it because I'm probably going to cut the counterspells. And funny, we only ended up with 1 of this card that we passed on so hard in earlier packs. It almost forced it into our deck near the end of Pack 3. So the advice earlier becomes sort of legitimized. And that don't worry about picking that. Pick your other thing that you might not even run. And that is the picks done. 40 gems, knowing that I definitely have 4 ultimatums, and we only picked like maybe 1 other rare, then that means that I did have 4 copies of that. Whatever. I might still run it, honestly. How you doing over there, my treasure?
Oh, good, my treasure.
Yeah.
Playing some Dead by Daylight.
Oh.
Silently, of course.
It's playing Dead by Daylight silently.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm not playing with the babes. I'm just playing it up.
Oh, okay.
Just ranking up.
I raised an eyebrow at the silently part of that, because generally it is a very stimulating game that has some very intense parts and slow running. Slow runnings, fast killers.
Yeah.
And it is not played quietly.
Generally, it is played very loudly.
Yeah.
As all the good games are.
As all the best games are. So, keep safe and the unlikely aid are our two things to protect our own creatures. Is that too much? Where our 20 to 12. Oh yeah, Alex is seeing my background for the first time of Molly's face just like this, staring at you. And I've had people tell me that they enjoy that. But I'm quite glad. Dustfang, Mentor, Glowstone. We got a lot of things that aren't mutate. What's better? Look at the top three and keep one, the other two goes in your graveyard. We have this thing here to graveyard to hand. Alright, those we're not. Bastion is kind of outside of where we want to be. Primal Empathy, it does draw a card, potentially. So that... I would prefer that over the Dark Bargain. We can't search for it with the Ultimatum. But we're not going to have big stuff to search for with the Ultimatum, really, either. The stuff we want to search for, we almost don't want to cast in that way. We'd rather use it as mutate onto another creature. So it's starting to look a lot better in the high end here. We have 17 lands and 46 cards. So... $20 lands and 49 cards. Was it hopefully nobody was paying attention to that. That no in Magic. Why are you upping your chance of drawing your combo cards? What combo cards? This is a pile at best. We'll hope the pile works correctly. Game 1. I don't know of any Magic drinking games. We've definitely had drinks whilst playing Magic before, but didn't, to game. So that's a juicy hand. We have lots of ways to get mana, it looks like. Let's hope we start seeing some mutate stuff and we get away with it. Red. Red without a play on 1. Okay. Is red going to have a shock for my Fertilid when I lay that on 3? Oh, cycling. How very interesting. Whenever you cycle a card, it deals 2 damage to something? Jeez. That's kind of annoying, considering that this is going to be a 2/2. And if they do another land, cycle for 1, and pay the 2, it gets rid of that, and I'm kind of in hot water because I'm starting to get behind, because I think they even gain life off of it. I don't want to highlight it again and tell them what to do, but ugh. For a cycling deck to play that on 2, that's probably not good for us and our pile. No, thank you. Part of me wanted to block, but Yep, mana number 3, color number 3. They also had a strong opening hand. Good for them. Got the windows open and everything, so you can hear some of the neighborhood noise occasionally. Nice! That is not removal right now. Oh. Well, I don't necessarily want you to kill that either. We don't have the 4th mana in order to do that. That puts it onto the battlefield. Very good. So if we don't lay this, and instead... So they might cycle here now. Oh, wow. Oh, that's definitely not good. We'll see. And they pay 2, and they deal 2 damage to the Scallywag. Correct. However, we say nay. And you didn't have enough to... When I saw them lay the Spring Jaw, I was like, ugh. If they expect me to have some sort of evasion, they're not going to fall. Don't play like that. So if this goes onto the battlefield, I can't resist doing it right now.
Fuck? Sorry.
It's okay. We were having a conversation earlier about Alex having conversations in her head and then becoming
No, this is
part
because
of
I'm
real.
playing a video game.
Totally. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It exposes this guy to some not good stuff. If they leave up the Spring Jaw, that's bad. And the Convolute isn't going to save us either, because it's a triggered ability, obviously, and you know. We're back to the Austin Powers part of the playlist, which is where we started having a really good time on Wednesday. Double strike till end of turn? Sure. You know... Yeah, actually, no, totally, that's fine. Yeah, totally, that's fine. Fertilite's going underneath it. So the only reason I'm hesitating because I put down the Convolute in order to strip the last counter off the Fertilite. And going in with the Thieving Otter next turn is going to be really important. Because I'm going to need to start gaining some sort of advantage to keep in this game. Because they're just cycling through cards. And if they're running a circling deck, we only have the amount of time until they get to their flare. Which why else would you be running cycling? This thing is uncommon. That's right. No! That is why I kept up my shibble dibble. Get out of town. Give me my card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. To put Glimmerbell down means I can still get in the Adaptive Shimmer. Nice. Go for blood. Didn't even cycle it, which I wouldn't have been able to do something about. Nice, thank you for using that up. Yeah, of course you would. Now, like the other game, our opponent's at 5 cards in hand. We are at 1 or none. Which is not so good. Okay, that's the Jeskai Triumph over there. So you're going to need a Force 2. You can't return it to the hand because I'll have enough mana to just do it again. I'll do it again. That is not a not a mana. Darn it. Well, where's my Dreamtail Heron? I would like that to be the next card, please. Shredding Sails, destroy target artifact. Oh. So they would rather the card than have killed my Shibble Dibble. That's concerning, because that speaks that they have several ways of getting rid of it in their hand. I mean, you should be somewhat concerned. Symbiote. That's great. I have a feeling like they're going to mutate onto the Otter, something really big and silly that I'm going to have to look at doing a double block on their new 5/4 in order to prevent them from drawing the cards. And then we in hot water. Or they can mutate onto the Fertilid, and we'd be much more okay with that. So what's up? All sorts of colors. So what is he going to do? Give it double strike or something? I mean, obviously, yes, we got to block it, but they're intending for us to block it. Are they... If he gives it +3... I'll tell you why. Because I don't think they were expecting that. They were expecting me to block with the 3/3. Yes, that is... So they used 2 cards, and they did get rid of the Shimmerer. They did not get in for damage. We drew into a recursive card. Nice. I don't think bullying him with the symbiote is worth it for us. Because he's going to strip it off for the counters right now. Yeah. For the land, rather. I don't think you really needed that land. I think you might have wanted a body a little bit more. But that is less lands you have to draw out of your deck. Another one, you say. Double cards, you say. The land, you say. That's... None of that is good. The fact they drew a land is good, though. Hoo-wee! That's a card. Oh, another land! Oh. So, I guess that's about it. They had a lot of double strike cards with the... I saw at least 2 Raking Claws, didn't I? 2 Raking Claws, 2 Go for Blood. Cool. Yeah, draw a card with that, but that's fine. Bushwag on top of a lot of mana. Yeah, this game is kind of over. I could have just not drawn lands. What?
The killer's just carrying me around and he's gonna let me escape with the rest of my team.
Oh, nice.
Oh, what a jerk.
Oh, nice. And that's not what we wanted. We wanted something to mutate on. But that's it. Sadly.
Oh, he executed me. What a fucker.
So, is that what you get for running that many lands? I don't know if we were totally out. Although 24 for 60 cards and 20 for... Let's try to get 2 less land. If we had drawn cards in 2 of those instead of 2 lands, or like 4 or 5 lands, or whatever it was, we might have been able to hang around. I don't know what we would have done to get rid of the 11-11. Except for play a better game up to that point if we had not been drawing lands. So what about this matchmaking? They haven't found someone else that's lost game 1. They're like, we just assume everyone does well. Sorry, there are no other losers for us to match you with right now. We're playing it out. I got stuffs and things. This looks like it might be a better game. Okay, they're white. Sure, Garrison Cat. That old chestnut. Glimmerbell was a great top deck, but don't stop giving me the lands. Yeah, Glimmerbell is probably not what you wanted to see. Otherwise, yeah. I think we'll perhaps get to that later. Because if we can keep this Fertilid and then start putting counters on it with Primal Empathy, that looks like synergy. Ah. Hardly knew ye. But he couldn't do anything about the 1/3, which is interesting. So 4 mana, if this Primal Empathy doesn't... Well, no, we should probably get into mutating stuff. But then he uses his hard removal, and what creature we have next coming down is this one without a mutate target. So I'd rather do that and start setting up and really put the pressure on them using their removal on Glimmerbell now before I start putting counters on it, because they don't want that. Yeah, you're going to use big expensive removal on it right now, aren't you? I saw that for them. They seemed like the type. So Great Horn, because if they have more removal, or they had removed something power 4 or greater. Oh no! That was like the one thing that I didn't want you to have, because I needed a creature substrate in order to do something on. In order to get something back to my hand to stay in this game. And the fact that they had 3 removals right in a row, turn after turn, while still gaining advantage. And they offered me the block because they have another mutate? Oh, that's nice. Graveyard to hand. Yep. So, we're not totally boned yet, but I assumed when they passed the turn, they were like, yeah, why don't you a 3/4, a 4/4. A 4/4 makes a difference because it's tied. But 4 means they're able to remove it right now. If they have... Well, which they would anyway. Shoot. Oh, gross. What's underneath this again? Garrison cat, right. Well, I mean, the sensible thing would be to block, wouldn't it? But if he has any sort of battle trick and hasn't used removal to get rid of this yet, I'm pretty much dead if they had that anyway. So why would they give me the opportunity to block if they weren't trying to use that to their advantage? Nice. So that's some stuffs and things. Okay, so I can... For 5, return something from graveyard to hand. This thing, exile target card from a graveyard for 4 mana. They can just do that anytime. I can lay this for 3 and that for 3. I don't necessarily want a gust of wind this back to their hand, but we may. Yeah, so if we do this for 2, the Chittering Harvester we're a lot less exposed to their effect. And we could Gust of Wind, and we would draw a card off of it, which is great and all. I don't know we're even that interested in that. Oh, if there was an exiled target tapped creature, I'm gonna feel really, really silly for not having known that. So yeah, they got rid of the other thing in my hand, meaning that... yeah. Oh, and I'm dead. I'm not gonna GG this person. So I don't feel very good about that loss. So, we're back to 0 and 2. Alright, I'm gonna go mix a drink, and we're gonna maybe flunk out, maybe start to go up. We shall see. Sorry I took the few extra seconds. I had to pick my nose off screen. You know, just streaming things. Okay, so... toward the enemy. Let's try that again with a teensy bit more removal. I don't know if that would have helped that game. Because they had all the answers at the correct speeds. I wasn't expecting the sacrifice a creature, though. That was the turn that I had to get back into the game. Sad. Oh, that's nice. I do like going first. No, nothing mutaty, but there's a few playable cards in hand. We'll see if we can't turn up a swamp. Gotta flex with my multicolor tap land. Ooh, what do you think of that? Are you intimidated yet? Adventurous Impulse, that's a fine card. Says me. That's a big card. E.
Sorry, baby.
Oh, oh.
Oh, it's starting to rain.
Oh!
Oh, no.
It's kind of slutty. I wasn't expecting that for another day or two. Nice. We've got
I did it.
Dreamtail Heron. Nice! And this is making it cheaper. We are in the money.
We're in the money.
We're in money. So we ditch this because we're just going to get it back later. This goes over it, and we start swinging in. Like some happy boys. That was the break that I was looking for. 2-drop Polywog into a cheaper 4-drop on 3 to get plummeted. Ouch! Ouch! My big break. So now we're going to perhaps see this coming down. Yeah. Okay. So we could return this to hand, but honestly, we just get rid of their Shibdib. Yeah. Oh! I forgot that if I had nothing, I was expecting a counter to go on it for some reason, and I totally forgot. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll, like, spring it in response to them, maybe pumping it to try and say, you know. Oh, right. I did not want to give them a card when it seems like they're having mana issues. Okay. So... the Nipper would be neat. We're gonna give it hexproof. That plummet was a bad time.
Chandler, that was so hard, buddy. Chandler, don't you do that.
Another one of those is excellent news. Three, four, five to get an instant or sorcery back from their graveyard. Yeah. Will costing me a total of 7 mana for them to respond with pumping the Bushwag on the block, and then at least 5 is going over, and I will have spent 7 mana to take 5. So instead, we lay Bootnipper with that touch, of course, and keep up the Unexpected Fangs. Because we're hoping that they're going to try and use their chunkiness to maybe punch through, and then we'll punish them with that touch. Oh. Yeah. I mean, I could have used the Unlikely Aid then in order to save it. This seemed like another way to... If they want to come in, I mean, like I see you there. But likely they'll wait another turn now. Oh, I see. Another swamp is good, ish. The 3/2. So, the good news being that they're not going to come in. The bad news is they're going to start drawing cards off the empathy. Unless we pressure them into making some trades, but they'll trade the Lore Dracus instead of other things. Yeah, they got a card. If we had my Primal Empathy as well, we would be trading back and forth. Hopefully... Yeah, no one would really get the advantage. Keeps buzzing. Come on, big swing. Ugh. So, Bushwag trades with this so unfavorably. They put 4 mana into making it a 6/6, and we have a bad time. This doesn't cycle, it just comes in play tapped, so we may as well. Oh, it does cycle, you just couldn't see it on there. So we'll hold on to that, because maybe that 5 mana will be better spent bringing back the Coil Bug to our hand. We're at 21s, the game's not over, but they're starting to gain advantage with this thing. I wish we'd come across one of our 2 Anticipates, or one of the other 2 cards that draw cards, or our Empathy. That's kind of what we need to stay in this. That's bad. But they don't have the 4... Yeah. But the hexproof, right? Yeah. I still think the right move was giving that hexproof back then. Come on, let's do an attack phase. Do something. More land. Has not been a very lucky draft for me, I'm not gonna lie. One, two, three, four, five, 6 mana left untapped. Very good. So I don't get both. Nor can I double play this coming back to my hand and the Unlikely Aid. Awkward. So you lay the 6/6, because, of course. Come on, attack something, though. That's okay, they say. Yeah, sure. Losing pretty hard. They're drawing a card every turn. I also have this same. I also have the same card. Would have been great if I had seen it, but we've been kind of flooding out all 3 of the games.
Yeah, what's in your hand? They're convoluted. Yeah.
That's okay.
I mean,
I just top decked this.
Play something big, and then that's you can shoot it down.
My Death Touch guy is hoping to trade with something and survive in order to trade with something else.
Right.
If they fall for that twice or make that trade twice, you know, we're kind of still in there.
Right.
Oh my god. They have black too? Uh-oh.
Huh.
They plummeted me on turn 3. I had this awesome play of this 2 into this, 3-drop that should have cost 4, and they plummeted it before I was able to keep up the indestructible.
Right.
And just the whole game was downhill from there. They haven't swung really once this game. They won't trade anything. Even though they've got the 6/6 there, they're like, yeah, well, why would we do that?
That's right, yeah.
That is not what you want to draw. Yeah. So, new plan. Deck them out. You can't stop the card draw. So let's deck you out. And hope hope that we can counter something valuable. Great Horn. Yeah, I can't. I'm 1 away from being able to do anything about that. Now, that being said, they return the Boot Nipper so they can swing in with just that. I mean, we just block that with the thing we can bring back to our hand. They might, because, I mean, they don't, this thing here has flash, so why would they do that? Yeah, you do it to the Boot Nipper. Correct. But now Blazing Volley don't mean shit. A permanent new control, that's funny. So I can't even keep it safe from the Mutate Shore Shark triggers. And you still have the 4 to potentially pay for convolute stuff, should that be relevant. Nor do I think I can keep safe against this Blazing Volley either, which is a bit of a pain in the hole. Because if I lay Boot Nipper, they just do that next turn. They've got my number. Yeah. So if they pump that 6, 8, 10, and I take 6 in order to kill this thing, he kills my... No. Unlikely 8 on whatever he picks. That's 8, that's 10. They can pump once to a 6/6. So, which, you know, you would say, why didn't you do this? Because they could have potentially played another shore shark and whatever. +1, +3, so 6, 9, and untap it. They've dealt the damage like this. Yeah, and I could convolute it, but now it's going to have 9 toughness. I'm still looking at 8 and 9, 10. Here. So we still got it. Nothing dies, which is neat. We get rid of that thing. This is nice. I would like to draw some cards, thank you. So they just, yeah. And it's a sad end for Boot Nipper because they just do Blazing Volley. And he doesn't actually get to trade with anything after all, and it's sad. Yet, he had one purpose. What is my purpose? It's just to trade with that 6/6. You must taste its flesh. Oh. Another thing with trample. Excellent. Yep, draw a card, discard a card. You might run out of deck before I have. Ooh, I'm at 25, he's at 27? How many cards were they running? We drew an extra 2 ahead of them with the thing. 6, 27, 5 in hand. They had more. Well, that's lovely. Target's permanent you control, yeah. So they can't pay 4. Is there going to be another situation in which they're going to be stressed about paying 4? I don't think so. I think Convolute is outliving its usefulness, considering they just threw it at something they knew was going to resolve. Yeah. We don't play Boot Nipper. We keep our other reluctant thing. We make this 4/7 for sharks. Yeah, they draw another card. Yes, good. Good. Keep drawing cards. And you discard that Blazing Volley. Get it out of here. Get it out of here. Yeah. 24 to my 23 to my 24. Okay. That would have been neat to counter with the Convolute, but I guess there you go. Gave it flying. Interesting. I mean, there's not really good trades for this person, except to make me sweat with the Coil Bug. That doesn't have trample, sir. So we've got something big enough to block their biggest stuff. Gust of wind. Interesting. We have 5 mana. So we potentially probably lay down Boot Nipper. That's an idea too. Returning this to hand. Kind of interesting. I don't think we're going to kill them with damage. If we have any chance, I think it's decking them out. This is 2. If we want to keep safe, which has been useless this whole game. Yeah. Yes, fear my 6/9. Or tied. You draw a card. So you're going to keep drawing. I was thinking about using the Gust of Wind to return the 6/6, but I want them to keep drawing cards. Alright, you get down there. But am I going to deck out before then? Genesis Ultimatum? Never mind. They jump 5 cards ahead. Okay. Yep. I wish Keep Safe was like permanents you control get hexproof until end of turn or something. But that's kind of a green card, not a blue one. Even though you could dive down and stuff like that. Come on, do something. Just been back there, you know, building stuff up. I think we return the Pyroceratops next turn, though. They skip attack phase. They're not interested. Okay. Wouldn't that be interesting? But I think we want the land. Because it's kind of significant. We're going to have to make a number of moves in order to go wide enough to block enough stuff. Otherwise, they're just going to run over us 2 turns by mashing the spacebar. But the fact that it's paused is really bad. Because if I tapped out to do this land, which, you know, is great and all, and then they have removal, it's going to feel bad. Okay, I think we can't go wrong with more islands. Seem to be in hot demand. Okay, and I draw a card. 17, 20. Okay. So the Pyroceratops is what's going to keep growing, and if we slow it down now, we want them to keep drawing cards. If I had a way of putting counters on Fertilid and then making them haul all the land out of their deck, I would do it in a heartbeat. So I'm going to have the 2 and the 3 in order to do this. Or you could 5, 2 and 2. So I could keep up the keep safe and lay another 2/2. Which seems fine. The alternatives is laying a series of otters, but I don't want to actually do damage. And yep, I've got enough for double otter and keep safe. I've already laid a land per turn. Okie doke. Swinging in for damage is not how we're going to win this game. We say, you keep drawing cards. You played your Genesis Ultimatum. I assume that was your Bomb Diddly-Om. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards in hand. 8. So I'm being at 16 is still a pretty good number. Thassa's Oracle was not in this set, right? Bit late to be having that thought. You go all in on seeing the game go to time and their library emptied, and then you're like, wait now, is this the Thassa's Oracle set? The thing that just got banned. It's funny. Yeah, no, I probably wouldn't be swinging either, I suppose. So I have 18, they have 13. Nice. This would draw another card. It would get larger. I have a second Glowstone Recluse that in combination with Fertilid would be kind of cool. The thing I would return back to their hand. I guess one of the 6/6s? I can do this, but not play it, so we may as well with the Death Touch. Okay, and this remove counters from it, sure. Coil Bug, we have 6 mana left up, so that's correct that we want to keep up our keep safe. They still have the 6/6, so they draw a card, but they don't come in with everything and lethal in one turn where I can only trade with the 1/6/6. This person is a super cautious player, knowing that they could just go all in at 40 life and probably I wouldn't be able to do much about it. With the exception of keep safe. How about no, Scott? Convolute would be in bad taste this late game. An instant, nice. Gain control of a thingy-jig. So a 5/4, is that more damaging to me? Why don't you search out a land there, mister? He's like, what? What did you? What are you targeting me with? Yeah, that's right. Mr. 10 cards in library. So you do that, and that looks a little worse for me for a turn. You You've got a black mana, so you could have a sack destroy something, sure. Mana value 2 or less. I knew that was 3. That's 2. I like you drawing cards. That's fine. I don't have a really good target for that. But it's still handy. Ooh, that's probably not good. You still don't get rid of my 6/9. And if you have any more lands, you may return. Cute. Oh no. That's bad. They're gonna steal something else potentially. Realizing they gotta get going. And that's not... It doesn't say you may, which is interesting. So here we are. You're going to take my 3/3, I suppose. This is even 3 mana. I suppose we get rid of something because we don't have anything else to spend mana on, and it might mean the difference between life and death, so we get rid of you, I guess. Okay. Next. The 5/6 with trample would be a problem. I don't mind putting that under that. So if we want to survive, you know, you would assume that we got to try and do it like this, with the 3 highest things being blocked, and if that's lethal, then that's lethal. That's it. Do you think they had that calculated out? Or are they just like, kind of went with it? Oh. Even more instants and sorceries. Get out of here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 15, 19. So, 0 wins. A little bit of a waste. This game kinda, I guess, could have gone either way. Shame that that's how it ended, but whatever. I didn't have a great time in game 2 either, because I felt like I got a break, and then they had the perfect card that it's like, why are you running that card? And game 1, I just got mana flooded. It's easy to blame on other things. Perhaps it was poor picking, or not access to enough mutate, or drawing the right cards and flooding out. Yeah, I don't feel particularly great about that draft, but that's it. I had a good time doing it, for the most part. Having a few drinks and relaxing with you fine folks. And I shall be back, of course, as always, on Wednesday for maybe another draft, maybe some Valheim. We'll see if what sort of call into us that evening. And if you did stop to spend some time with me, I want to thank you so much for doing so. And mention that as the last thing, that the music is provided by Silent Sound, royalty-free music, be in the description there. Thanks again. You have a good night.